Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails, a Prevailman story. We're on week 3 of the new player account, and I know that some people are kind of chomping at the bit for me to make a my strategy guide and my farming guide, and I get that. And the fact is, I've just been on vacation. I've been very busy, so I doubt I'm going to get to it during this final week of Grand Arena. But during the off week, I am going to get that done. So we might have one more of these before that comes out, but one way or another, we will get it soon. So we're in week 3. We're at level 57, which we're starting to get pretty high up there. We're about to start unlocking some really important things. One of the most important things that I just recently unlocked was when we got to 56, I was able to increase a few of my challenges. None of them are too crazy, honestly. However, I was able to get a little bit more gear, and it's important. I kind of held off on my challenges in the day just to get that one, just to get those increased challenges later. Once I hit 57, I was at 55, and I just didn't do them. It was actually on a Sunday, so I could get 3 of them, and it just seemed like too good of an opportunity to waste. So, other than that, other developments here on the account include we have Darth Vader up to Gear 7. A couple of our characters at Gear 7 now. So we have Ezra and Kanan. Those two are probably the most important to Gear 7 on our squad right now. Ezra because he hits the hardest, and Kanan because he tanks the hardest. He does pretty well. I've also just been upgrading their abilities where I can. I'm kind of saving my ability materials right now. But you can also see the other really important factor is Zeb has gotten into his 6th star. We're actually very close to being able to get him 7-star. I'm going to do some Grand Arena, or some territory. Gosh, I'm bad with names. Some Galactic War with you guys today. I've had a few requests to show people how I approach it, so that's something I'm going to do today. Otherwise, I've been farming Bastila. I haven't been getting the best RNG on her farm, but I should be able to get her unlocked by the end of this coming week, and she is very, very important for this coming push here. One thing to keep in mind, folks, is so I know I'm kind of arbitrarily telling you guys what things we should be working on and which things you should be doing, and the fact is I do have a pretty solid plan in place. It's just hard to see it, and without the farming guide or the strategy guide, it's going to be hard to see it. However, I do want to just mention that there is a rhyme and reason to all of this. You'll note that we did get Boba unlocked here, and so I've been farming Boba on hard nodes up till now, and I know that a few people were unimpressed with that idea. They would prefer me to be using. To be only farming from the Cantina node. The fact is, I wanted to get him unlocked as fast as possible, and that already came into play at one point during the Galactic War fight. One time, Phoenix got destroyed, and then I countered and killed everyone. And then with Ezra, but they'd killed Hera, and I didn't really have a way to get through, and Boba came in the clutch. However, now that we have Boba farmed, and he's at 4 stars. He's not, so that's not super high, but we can just put him, set him aside for now. He's unlocked, and once Chopper is done, we're going to start farming Chopper in the guild store again, or the Cantina store. And once Chopper is at like 6 or 7 stars, we'll start working on Boba again. We did just need his unlock, though, because we needed another really strong dark side character. So, this is a good one to put on him. So we want to get him up to 7-star, or up to Gear 7 at some point. It's not a huge priority, but We are trying to do that. And so at this point, the teams that we're going to be working on, we just have a light side team and a dark side team. I'm keeping Sabine up with everyone else to some degree. She doesn't get all the choice gear and everything, but eventually we're gonna get her to gear like 11, and probably just leave her there. I have some pretty crap mods on her, and that's okay. Otherwise, we have Hera that we're working on as well. We're stalling on her stars until we can get Ezra up to 5 stars, because Hera right now is really just a facilitator, and it's nice to have more survivability, but she doesn't do a huge amount of damage. What she does right now is, as I say, facilitate. So one thing I do want to point out, guys, so before we go into anything more, I do want to go over a couple things with mods. I am just kind of playing freeform right now as I'm talking to you guys, but I want you guys to see just kind of the day-to-day struggle, as it were. So anyways, we've got mods, and last time I was telling you guys, real quick, let's do this cantina thing. Let's farm as many Ezra shards as we can. 5, perfect. We had mediocre RNG there. Okay, so now one thing that I told you guys was to work on unlocking all the different mod battles, and so I've been able to get all the way through mod 8, and this has taken a lot of time and effort. You'll note that I only have a couple stars here. It gets really tough to beat these guys. You can see Rey, one of the final boss characters, is actually at level 77. So for our 50 something account, these guys hit really hard. Gear 12, level 77. So what I've been doing, so we only have 2 stars here. Let's actually, I'd prefer to have 3 stars on this one. So I'm going to reiterate once again, get good allies, guys. Look at all my good allies. And I know that there's a few bad ones. Those aren't actually allies. They're just random characters that we have available. And I do have a ton of other allies, actually, that are good. I know that Darth Revan doesn't go that well with Phoenix necessarily thematically, but what he can do here is really important. So there's 5 stages on these things, and this is one of the hardest stages because it's on the speed one. It's on 8. So you can see Darth Revan just does his AoE. Then he can do Fear, so these guys don't even get a turn. Hera can then just call Darth Revan to attack, and then it looks like Resistance Trooper could take a turn, and I don't want to waste all of our good turns, or all of our assist calling here. So I'm saving Ezra's for a minute. But now we have one character that has a ton of health, and actually we're going to be hitting him because Darth Revan's going to do his AoE here in a minute, and hopefully just take all of them out. So you do his AoE, and the whole team that we're facing is gone, and now we can just move on. I could use my Fear ability here, but I'm just going to pause a little bit. These guys are going to be able to do some damage here, of course. They do hit kind of hard, but they're not insurmountable, obviously. So really, I mean, having an ally is super helpful. The reason we got 2 stars previously was because I ran out of a character that was really good with AoEs, frankly. And so, in the end, like, I got all of my characters killed except for Darth Revan and maybe a couple others. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, it can be pretty challenging to get through these. But if you don't give them a lot of turns, then you can kind of mitigate that. So the other piece of it, of course, is going into mod challenges and getting up to the 4-star or the 4-dot mod challenges. We can't quite do the 5-dot yet because we need 5-star characters, but we're getting close there. So I did get those on crit damage. Crit chance, I did want to try that one time. Now you can see we don't get an ally here. I did want to show you guys kind of how I approach this. These guys might be a little too high level for what I want. Now, these two characters, the Recon Stormtrooper and I think the Pirate Spy, both have AoEs, and so because we have Phoenix, if they do their AoEs, then we're going to counter and be able to demolish them. Now, the thing that I really want to show you guys in this video, and this is very important, is we want to do exposed damage. Exposed damage is huge with Hera. So this is the healthiest character, this Mob Enforcer, and when we shoot him, we have a chance at least of getting an expose off. Now we want to watch turn meter. This Mob Enforcer is about to take a turn, so we don't want to call Hera to assist or anything yet. But if you see here, you have Hera shoot, and it looks like we didn't get expose again, unfortunately. But expose is a huge source of our damage. There's the AoE I was talking about, and now the other piece that I want to show you is Daze from Zeb is huge. So you get Daze, and then if he does another basic on someone who has Daze, then it stuns them. So then they can't take a turn. It's very handy. Phoenix are all about control. They're not about brute force. You just want to do as much control as you can. Now I made a mistake here. I hit this Recon Stormtrooper. Let's save the rest of his health, so when he takes a turn, we do all of our counters to him and just take him out. Now, with Hera, we're going to call it assist with Zeb. He was already dazed, so now he can't, he's not going to take a turn, because he's stunned. So there, that guy did his AoE, and he's gone now. And now, you know what, let's just do a double tap with Ezra, take him out. Now this guy is exposed, so even though Chopper hits not hard at all, that should just take him out, because exposed is 20% of his health. Now, this next phase is hard again. We have the one guy with super high health, so we're going to just try to take out the guys who are helpful on the periphery first, except for when Hera goes. It looks like Chopper will probably go next, so we're going to try exposing here. Yep, so Chopper's going to go, and watch how much damage he does. He missed, of course, when I'm trying to show you guys live. Oh, there we go. So the guy shot, and exposed didn't expire. So once again, we'll call with Ezra. This time, we'll call an assist on Hera, so we get the expose, and then we get a huge hit. Now we can get Daze on him, and we'll call Zeb to stun him. There we go. And let's try to take out the First Order officer here. We can try taking out this guy now. And it looks like this guy's the healthiest. So we can take him out. And there we go. About 3 out of 5. All good. These guys are all level 75, so they're like 10 levels higher than us. So we're doing okay here. The key, of course, is to get 3 stars. We don't want to just win. We want to get 3 stars so that we can sim these mod battles, these mod fights. Now, these AoEs can really feel like they hurt a lot, because they do. Now let's get an expose if we can. We can't. All right, so let's get a stun if we can. We also can't. Having these higher level characters just makes things a lot more difficult, because it's harder to land things. So if we want to go for pure damage, I have Ezra call Zeb, and otherwise I'm trying to save all of my specials for the next and final phase here. So now we'll fight, it looks like a group of characters, and unfortunately it's going to be Kylo. He's going to be, I think he's impervious to all of our shenanigans with health and everything, but we can stagger him and make him lose turn meter. Let's do taunt with Kanan and try to take out a First Order officer if we can. Looks like First Order Stormtroopers taunting, unfortunately. Can daze him so he doesn't have retribution at least. And we'll dispel that. Now let's just take out the First Order officer. This is going to get pretty dicey, I think, folks. Frankly, just because these guys are so high level. But we're going to try. We'll probably, I hope we can win this. But we also want to be careful with our taunts. Just because you can get them to focus one character of yours, and that's not necessarily super healthy for your long-term existence, so to speak. Here we're gonna heal Kanan a little bit. Okay, so let's try to daze Kylo, so we'll eventually try to stun him at least. There we go. So now we can work on him. We can work on him a little bit. We'll try to get stagger on him. So now when we hit him, he'll lose all of his turn meter. So a lot of times with Phoenix, I don't like to taunt with anyone, frankly, just because I like to have all of the hits spread out, and they have such great regeneration that it's just very helpful. So, as you can see, my health and protection are actually not doing too bad right now. So we're saving all of our dispels here for just the stormtroopers, and I did put the "Don't die, please" on Kanan, just because I don't want him to die. If he does die, then we'll be pretty sad. Let's try to stun Kylo. Once we get Kylo out of here, we should be good. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we'll hit this guy on the side here until it's Hera's turn. This guy's the healthiest, so we're going to shoot him, and now we'll take off that exposed damage, and now we'll go back to the guy who's not as healthy. And eventually, we'll be able to take him out. These guys have a huge amount of hit points. It's pretty obnoxious. But, as you can see, Phoenix are such a good control team that that's kind of what our goal here is, just to control things and move forward. So we got the win here. Now with these mod battles, what we're going to be doing here, for now, let's just get some crit chance mods. See, they're all 4-star or 4-dot, and that means that they're going to have way higher capacity to give us the stuff that we want. They upgrade our characters more. And all I'll say right now, so I'll probably come out with some kind of modding guide, like just really brief modding guide for beginners. But the thing that you want to keep doing here is you just want to apply increasingly high dots on your mods, and if you can, or on your main characters. So if you can, you want to get different stats that you think might be good. On Zeb, getting offense on your cross, or getting, like, if you can find like a potency one, that's great. It's pretty complex, and I really don't want to get super into what exactly the stats you're looking for and everything. The key, though, is if you can find an arrow speed, if you can find primary speed with arrows, that's going to be huge for you. Speed is one of the most important stats in the game, and if you can find arrows with speed, and they feel pretty rare sometimes to find them. It's tough to find them, but if you can find these arrows with speed for all of your characters, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So I would focus right now on making sure that most of your mods are at 4 dot now, and that they have matching pairs. So like these health ones, they only need 2 in order to get a bonus. So if you have 2 health mods and they're both level 15, then you get plus 10% health on your character. Some of them, a couple of them, which are later down the line, and I don't think you'll have much access to them, but I should mention them. Once you get to like crit damage or offense or speed mods, you actually need 4, and you can see how much you need 4 on one character, I should say, from one set. So you see the little running man, that means speed, and that running man also because it's a speed set, you're going to get a bonus. You're going to get a bonus from that mod if you have 4 of that set on that character. And it's nice to get that bonus and everything, but that does mean that you only have 2 other mods that you can apply. So we're not going to go farther into that. Speed mods are absolutely the end goal. We want to get those guys unlocked as quick as we can, but we want 5-dot mods. Those are the future. 4-dot mods are a nice stopgap, I suppose, but they're not the epitome of modding, certainly. So another thing that I want to really stress here, guys, is make sure that you're getting your dailies done as often as possible. Those dailies are so important. And one thing that you can do if you're just in a rush and you don't want to be troubled with the headache of a fight. I know this is Phoenix versus Phoenix, which is an extraordinarily irritating match. I just jump in and jump out, and that's good enough for the squad arena feat. So we're good there. Now I do want to show you guys, I told you guys I was going to show you Galactic War, and we will do that in just a moment. Check it out. So, Galactic War, this can be a little bit tricky sometimes. I always use this setup here. We're not using Sabine yet. She's too low star. She eventually will be very helpful. But the awesome thing about Phoenix is they heal themselves so much that you can do a lot of good to them. So, I generally try taking out either the healers or the DPS guys first. I usually use Hera to call an assist for Ezra, because Ezra just does a ton of damage. The start of this Galactic War is always pretty easy. We can just kind of move through. Now, one thing, Chopper can dispel this this taunt, and I would recommend doing that. And then one thing that you guys will note, though, toward the end of every fight, I just kind of only use basics, because I want to have all of my specials ready for the next fight. So he has exposed. Let's take a hit on him. Ezra will potentially get another turn. It looks like maybe not, actually. Let's actually do this, because Ezra is going to go next, I think. Yeah, so we want to make sure that his first special is available right away. So, yeah, that's what we're trying for here, at least. So use specials at the start of a fight, and then move on to using basics toward the end once everything is in control. So this fight, Tarkin is going to be a pretty big DPS factor. If we can take him out early, that will be great. Looks like Royal Guard is taunting, so we'll just use Ezra to do a big hit. Now we really want to take out Tarkin before he goes. And now we can take out Royal Guard, because he's just going to be a royal pain. If we continue to let him, we'll keep this Dispel available from Chopper. And then we'll call Zeb to assist. Now Vader is going to also be a pretty big irritant here. So we want to take him out as quick as we can. Let's see if, yeah, the percent health doesn't do anything to Kylo Ren unmasked, unfortunately. Just because of the rules for his character. It's percent health damage, and percent health damage doesn't impact either of the Kylos, well, any of the 3, in fact. So, take him out. He's a pretty good character. We're going to be farming him I won't say like extremely soon, but he's definitely a character that I want to be focusing on eventually. So, got that node. And the thing to remember here is we might get into trouble toward the end. I don't know. Some of the nodes can get pretty difficult. But the thing to remember is if you don't have a satisfactory situation, you can always just click this top button here and retreat, and it basically hits the reset button. All of your damage evaporates, all of the damage you've caused evaporates, and it's just a good opportunity to maybe just replay it and see if you can find a better set of RNG or something. So, yeah, it's a nice thing to be able to do in this game sometimes. That this game mode can eventually be gamed so that, like, if you get to a certain point where everything is just like too hard, sometimes you can just put a different character in with the squad, and the opponent's AI starts doing completely different things. It treats it like a totally different match, and you can kind of game it so that you can get a favorable result. I haven't had to do that yet so far for Galactic War, but Phoenix is really forgiving in that regard, because as you can see, like, Galactic War is kind of a slog if you don't have healing, but look at all of our health. Like, they've hit us plenty, but we're not hurting that much. So here's one trick I'd like to do. Dooku has his counterattacks, so I use Ezra to call Zeb to hit. It dazes Dooku. Now, that was a pretty weak Dooku, so it doesn't necessarily matter that much, but in this case. But if you use that trick, then and Dooku has daze on him, then you can basically negate his ability to counterattack you. These initial fights are all pretty easy. They do kind of ramp up toward the end, so I'm just trying to hustle our way through it. I love it when Talia heals when it's only her, because it just hurts her. It doesn't even heal anyone, because she cuts herself to heal the rest of her group. But the AI is like, oh yeah, she needs a heal, and so she heals, but it just cuts her. Like, it doesn't heal her. So that cracks me up. Let's take out Nihilus as quick as we can. Don't want any of his nonsense. Now remember that Sidious dodges really easily and really well against Jedi. So I usually like to have Zeb try to take him out or something. I mean, we could, if we wanted to, I guess, use the Jedi. They don't always miss, but it's also not a certain thing that we're going to be able to get a hit on him. He just dodges so much. I just wanted to illustrate the point. However, if he's stunned, which obviously that didn't happen this time, but if he's stunned, then we can just hit him without any kind of difficulty at all. Because he's just stunned. He doesn't have evade. So if you can get the stun off with Zeb, then that's great. Now the first node that is usually a little bit difficult is node number 6, which is the one we're on now. And so we're going to avoid shooting Dooku for now. Let's try to take out Soldier to start with, just because he doesn't have a huge amount of hit points, but he does have he does pack a punch. Now we've been waiting for Zeb to go. Now we put Daze on Dooku, so now we can just have Ezra go to town on him, and there's not going to be any counters. And it looks like Chopper is just about out. Now this will be a good opportunity for me to show you guys how to work the system a little bit. If things go wrong and Chopper does just die, which I guess I won't let him, but if he does just die, then we can just hit the reset button and try another tactic. So let's try to take out the Soldier. He's a huge pain in the backside. We don't want to kill Newt yet. I mean, you do. Newt's annoying, but you have to kill him twice, and he goes into stealth. Like, it's just a bad situation overall. So, unfortunately, we have all of these. Extortion things, and those are the blue debuffs, and that Newt hands out. And you want to pay the extortion if you can, but we've been ability blocked, so we can't actually pay the extortion. And at this point, it's not probably going to be a great idea to pay it anyways. If he's the lead, it can really cause a lot of issues. So we will pay the extortion here. We'll pay the extortion from Kanan. And now, hopefully we can just take him out without having him do extortion anymore. Okay, so take him out. There we go. So we got the win, and we can move on. And we have mostly full health at this point. That was a pretty tricky one, though. That was a little worse RNG, a little bit worse luck, and we would have probably had to reset it. So, Ahsoka is both a healer and an attacker, so I like to take her out. She can impact the battle in surprising ways, even though it doesn't seem like she hits hard. She can do some decent damage. So, one thing I hope that they change soon is when Hera is about to take a turn, you look as close as you can above all the characters' names on your opposing side, and you can see a little flashing word that says healthiest, and that's how you can tell who Hera should shoot for the expose. So you've got the healthiest thing on Mace, so we're gonna shoot Mace. Didn't land it, unfortunately. Eventually, I'm gonna get a bunch of potency mods onto Hera. Potency mods are the things that are going to help us be able to land debuffs better. I'll explain all that in my modding guide, but potency is great if you want to land a debuff. And obviously with Hera, that's a pretty important factor, and with Zeb as well. Later down the line, you're just going to want to stack potency on Zeb. Now, wow, okay, so this squad is all level 66, but they're a little lower geared. So they have higher stats on some levels, but we can just take them. We can take them out, though, because their gear is so low. Now, Cody has an AoE. Let's just let him AoE us, actually. It should just give us enough, potentially give us enough counters to just take him out. And let's start attacking the consular. And we have to hit the Wookiee. That's fine. Can dispel him. And he's low enough. Let's just try to take him out. Here's the AoE from Cody. Yep, just took him out without preamble there. That was kind of nice. Now we can take out this consular and move on to the next difficult node. I believe maybe the next is 8 actually, which isn't hard either. Maybe this is 8. I always lose track. Yeah, so that was 8. Great. And now this is the next difficult node. There's 4 difficult nodes. There's 6, 9, 11, and 12 are the ones that I always have traditionally had problems with. So, teams we want to focus, or characters we want to focus on. Vader has pretty high health, and Boba would be great to take out, but Tarkin's going to really cause us some headaches if we don't just take him out early, because he can debuff all of how hard we hit. So we got stagger on Boba. That's great because now he's not going to take a turn too soon. Hopefully, we can take him out once. Now we had Bounty Hunter's Resolve. That sucked. That he got a turn, but now we can take him out without only having to do 1 attack. Okay. So now let's switch focus, try to take out Vader, because he is an issue. We just haven't had the mental energy to deal with him. The other guys were more of an issue, frankly. So call Ezra to assist because he hits hard. Good, and he killed Vader back, which was something he didn't even come close to in the show Rebels. Yeah, it was laughable how amazingly Vader handled Kanan and Ezra both in that show, which is honestly I felt like that was very true to how Vader should be treated. I feel like that show could have messed up a lot, but they didn't. They treated the right characters with the proper amount of respect. Not that you're here to hear my commentary on Rebels, but I really liked that show, actually. Despite it being animated, had a lot of really good storylines. Okay, so Barriss is the most healthy. This Vader looks like he's vulnerable, though, so let's try to take him out. He doesn't have super high health, so... You'll note that I haven't really taunted with Kanan like this whole time. That might change eventually here, but we just want to get the win with these guys without or while spreading our damage as much as possible. So now these guys are all like either tanks or healers. So let's try to take out Barriss first. She's going to be the one who causes the most problems. And even though we took out her protection, she was still the healthiest. So there we go. We got a twofer on the exposes, and hopefully we can take her out soon before she equalizes health and makes our lives miserable, which is great that we were able to do that. So I was kind of hoping we'd get a Phoenix mirror match so I could show you guys how that works. And we still do have an opportunity here in the next two fights. But if we don't actually get to do that in this match, or in this video, I'll just tell you guys. So Phoenix is a really frustrating mirror match. One of the keys to it, really, though, is if you can get a stun on Chopper when he's going to taunt, and if you can get a stun on Chopper, because he also evades at a pretty high rate, and that's frustrating. If you can get a stun on Chopper in the mirror match, then focus everything you have on him, then you should be good to go. Once you kill Chopper, then you can kill Hera, then Ezra, save Zeb for last. Kill Kanan and then Zeb, generally. Ooh, a Night Sisters team, okay. So these guys will have some decent synergy. They're not the best Night Sisters characters, though, so we need to focus on old Daka because she can revive these guys. And none of the rest of them can revive anything. Like, they don't have zombie, they don't have anything. They don't have Talzin. And old Daka can revive at a really high rate if we let her. They can heal quite a bit, as you can see. We got our protection down, but that doesn't mean much. So let's just see if we can take her out, though, as fast as we can. She's going to heal herself. Luckily, the rest of our guys aren't doing aren't taking a huge amount of damage either. Okay, so old Daka's gone. Now we can focus on whoever we want to. I like to take out Talia because she heals the whole team and she dispels debuffs on the whole team. So yeah, once we take her out, then we should just be able to coast. Asajj can still do a lot of damage if we're not careful. But Initiate is someone we can just kind of ignore until it's her turn to die. And Acolyte is stealthed, and we won't be able to access her anyways. So we'll take out Asajj here. And you'll note that I'm just doing basics. Whoops, I say that and then I click on the special. But we're just doing basics. If we can get Daze on Initiate, that's great because she can counterattack. And yeah, cool. So now she's stunned. We can actually hit her without all of her stupid evasion going on. And now Acolyte is sad. Okay. So we got the win here, and let's see what heinous. They always say the worst, the most awful team that we don't want to have to face for the end. Looks like level 64 with all gear 7 and decent star levels. So we'll see. That we're going to approach this fight a little different because if we lose characters, as long as we make good progress, we're going to keep that progress, and then we can use our second team, like our dark side team, to be able to counter these guys. So we'll see. We'll see. This one might require a couple resets. In some ways, I kind of hope it does, just because it's nice to be able to show you guys how that tactic works in practice. Gosh, that expose is really tempting, but I'd rather get a potential kill on Vader. So, man, we almost stunned him. Almost took him out. Okay, so now we can do the expose on Chewie. He's not a fast character. Now let's take out Akbar because he does all of the buffs on his team. He dispels debuffs. He facilitates. I want to take out the facilitators first if possible. Though we do, if there's a random expose, we do want to take advantage of that usually. And look at my health and protection, guys. Like, after all of this, I haven't even done a single healing move, really. Like, maybe using Chopper to heal himself, kind of. Or using Hera to heal Chopper a little bit, but otherwise, this is why Phoenix is so nice. Like, you can just coast to wins. I haven't come close to losing any Galactic Wars so far, and you see I'm just in the habit of using basics here. Even though we can use specials, because once we're done with this one, we're done with the rest of Galactic War, and we can move on. So, here we can taunt with him. Zeb's second special is something I don't usually use, frankly. But I think the AoE uses it at an okay rate, I guess. So let's get an expose on him. And now we can pound his face, apparently. And that is it. That's Galactic War. We've gotten enough tokens to buy 15 more Zeb shards. And, ooh, look at that. We got an Omega material. We already have a couple, apparently. But these Omegas are going to be in extremely short supply eventually. We're going to be hurting for them. So as you can see, we have 1,600. We need 400 each, so we can actually get 20 more Zeb shards by the end of this. And yeah, we'll be at 55. And I think that means we should have a 7-star Zeb here pretty soon. And the reason it's so important to get that 7th star is as soon as possible is that we can do the high-end raids. We can participate in them and start earning all of these end-game characters, which is really important for our roster development. But I think this is stretched on a little longer than I would prefer, than you would probably prefer. So I'm going to end this, guys. Thank you for watching. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. Hit me up on the Discord server if you want to. That's in the video description. Check out all my other resources and everything, also linked in the video description. And yeah, I will let you go now. So thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails.